but two, why does he keep winning? like what I always think too, like, you know, what is the bull and the bear case for Richard Hart himself? Like what is going to come? What would make him come to demise of him and his products and all these things in the, you know, for the mission he's on, for glory, for, you know, longevity and all this stuff? And what would make his stock, you know, be at his all-time low right now and only go higher in the future? What do you think of that?
Are you talking about his products or his personal value in society?
His brand, I think, is just himself, you know, because since he represents and is a big part, even though he likes to say, I do nothing, you know, he is a big part of these products. So for better, you know, usually for better, seems for better for right now. People say outrage marketing. I don't get it until it works. And I'm like, oh, I get it. But, you know, what are your thoughts on his brand? And, you know, can't he only be more popular, more influential? You know, can he has he reached his peak, or do you think there's a lot more?
I think that in 2008 or 9, whenever Bitcoin started, I think Richard first participated in 2011, I think around then when it's 50 cent Bitcoin or something like that. And he talks about going from $2 to making the $30 top and all these other things he talks about. So I think his participation was around 2011. People, I tend to give benefit of the doubt when it comes to what attracts someone to a particular product to speculate on. Here is where the market is going to go. Here is where I have the quick buck, the fast money, the, you know, the hollow sale, you know, and those kinds of narratives. And those people don't, in my experience, don't stick around. They don't stick around for 10, 12 years inside of a marketplace, putting themselves out there. Richard has the genius to be absolutely anonymous, unknown. No one knows about him whatsoever, and still be ridiculously wealthy. His trading skills, he can move markets and things like that. He can pay attention. He's a savant, in my opinion, when it comes to pattern recognition, game theories, you know, that kind of stuff that has served him well about when to get out of sale of a business. He's exited multiple businesses that he's developed over time. And, you know, I think there's even been evidence that he's talked about of a hollow and fruitless, you know, several years of playing video games, living in hotel rooms. You know, it's not really an extrovert. It doesn't seem to be. He does tend to stay in his home, you know, more than as far as all the content we've seen of him.
His castle, you mean?
Yeah. So I mean, like, and he talks about having like this PTSD kind of narrative in his head about, you know, risk and security vectors and all these other types of things, right? So I think that he could have lived an anonymous life, but he also knows that there's only a few people that he, in his mind, that he respects, that he thinks actually has made big impact on civilization or societies. You know, if you look through history, it might be like a Nikola Tesla. It might be in some ways the leadership, or you love him or hate him, of Elon Musk, or you know, Newton, or someone that, you know, Edison, someone recognized by history. And he knows that there's not that many of them. There really are not. There's a few dozen at best, you know, Einstein or something like that, right? And everybody else falls into some level of obscurity. Satoshi has been taking that, you know, position of the inventor and innovator of cryptocurrency for decades. And he hasn't really been here for over a decade. No one's known him for a long time. Any action or participation or any defense of the purpose of crypto or the narrative of cypherpunk and things like that. So I think Richard wants that respect, and I think he's come to the public, you know, realm to you know, showcase his skill set of creating a community, of espousing the values of cryptocurrency and entrepreneurism and things like that, and the narrative of, you know, don't wreck your life trading it away, whether it's time away or anxiety or relationships or whatever, in this gambling thing. You know, a speculation. Even though we are speculating to some degree that Hex will have value in the future, his best product development has been this delayed gratification, time value of money thing. So I think he wants everyone knows that he wants the celebrity. He wants it for ego. He wants to be a mark in time and history, and he wants to prove haters wrong. He wants to prove them wrong, right? I think that's a noble quest.
Do you think he will get the glory that he's looking for? In his mind, you think he will hit all the targets? He will be the best person in crypto. He will be remembered for saving lives through longevity, like all these things that he talks about. Do you think he'll get what he's looking for?
I think I would be a controversial figure for many years to come. I don't see malicious malintent. In the times that I've spent with him, I text with him fairly regularly and things like that also. And he's never let me have doubt. I've been around other business people and investment thesis kinds of narratives. And I've found, many times the people, they have an image that they put forth, and then you get to know them, you become familiar with them, and you're like, that's not how it really is.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's your parent or your family member or your priest or preacher or, politician or school teacher, the closer that you get to your heroes, the more you can see their flaws, right? You can this is where you say one thing, but you do a different thing. Right. Yeah. I've never seen that in Richard. It's been 3 years now. And I'm not saying that that's a huge amount of time or exposure, but I've never seen something that has been misaligned with his narrative and his public, reason for creating product or playing the clown or whatever it is for us. I think his advocacy has value, and I think his intention is true.
Same here. Couldn't have said better myself. Yeah. I mean, from the 5 years I've been watching him, I'm just like, everything he does is it's not that he doesn't make mistakes. It's not that, he doesn't do things that in hindsight he maybe wish he would have done differently or otherwise, but everything is purposeful. He has, a reasoning behind it. He's doing it, I wrote a blog about this on the website for glory. In my opinion, he wants to be the best in every vertical that he chooses. And I've said it before, I think crypto, I know it's hard to see it now, but I think crypto will be a footnote in his Wikipedia article, whenever he gets on Wikipedia, get kept, huh? Down the road, 10, 20 years, I think, like I said, longevity, he's always talked about pivoting in that at some point. I think it's a means to an end for him. But still, while he's doing it, he's putting his heart, soul, energy, time, everything he can into getting it done as fast and as well and as compounding and as he can. Do you think that I guess if you look at it that way, or some of the things you talked about too with him, it's never seeing any reason to doubt him and stuff. People who follow him, people invest in Hex, people in products, and just his whole way of doing things. Do you think that it's kind of like a trickle down glory type of thing? Like, do you think he is the ocean that rises the boats type of deal? It's if he just stopped doing crypto and he went off to do something else, and it's just something that no one would expect, would Hex still be successful, for example? Like, do you think he's needed in order to get these things done?
I sure would like him to be involved for a bit longer. I think that there is a robust community, of course. I think that there is skill to step up if he were not involved for any reason. There's call to action that would happen. People, whether it's because they're trying to protect their own investment that they've had over time, which is their brand, their time that they've invested, their resources that they've invested into the Hex product and narrative. And I think that we would have someone or some pool of people that would step up to that role. But I sure would like him to continue being Richard. I like the gladiator inside of the Coliseum. And I'm promoting that the crowd, the audience, can be louder, and they should be louder, and they should have different points of view, and they should be relatable to different people that Richard is not. And they should, talk about the product more than the outrage or the genius or the resources that one person inside of Hex has, right? So I like Richard.
Absolutely.
I think he's a great guy in a lot of ways. I think he's obviously has a lot of resources. I think he can move markets outside of Hex. I think I believe, without any proof, that he can make tops and bottoms. I think he has a lot of resources to deploy and do those things. But that's not going to give him the glory. The glory of being a better trader and showcasing his resource, his fashion sense, whatever, isn't filling him. What's filling him is creating a product and having the product adopted and that recognition that goes along with it, right? So
yeah.
I want him to participate. I do have call to action kinds of things about how hexagons can be more effective, how we can be a voice that is different in frame and vocabulary and tone than the gladiator. We are the audience, but we are also, Romans. So
he is Russell Crowe, Joaquin Phoenix, and he owns the stadium, if you will.
Yeah.